Today's top stories at NBR. ANZ settles Ross Asset Management class action. NZ Post reaches settlement with contract courier driver. Pushpay acquires US streaming company. And there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Monday, August 23rd. I'm Paul Brernnan. Thanks so much for joining us. High-profile online investing platform Sharesies has received a formal warning from the Financial Markets Authority for anti-money laundering failures. The FMA said today Sharesies had failed to have sufficient anti-money laundering procedures, policies and controls in place. The issues were identified as part of the regulator's ongoing monitoring of compliance with the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering Financing of Terrorism Act. The FMA said Sharesies had failed to obtain information about the nature and purpose of the proposed business relationship from most customers, failed to obtain sufficient information to determine whether certain customers required further due diligence, and failed to complete identity verification for close to 8,000 customers who had invested more than $1,000. It was not alleged that Sharesies had allowed or enabled money laundering or the financing of terrorism to take place. A $100 million class action against ANZ Bank over its role in the David Ross Ponzi fraud has been settled out of court for a confidential sum. In a brief statement, ANZ said the parties acknowledged they were all misled by Ross. All matters relating to the settlement are confidential and the parties will not be commenting further. The investors' claim was funded by LPF Group. The fraud by financial advisor David Ross was discovered in 2012 and was responsible for losses of about $115 million for at least 700 investors. Z Energy will enter 4 weeks of exclusive talks with ASX-listed Ampol after the Australian oil company offered $3.78 a share to acquire the listed fuel retailer. And the potential stumbling block of competition law issues may be avoided with Ampol committed to materially divesting its Gull New Zealand operations. Dual-listed Z Energy is trading 55 cents up since this morning's trading halt was lifted over news of a possible material transaction being announced. NZ Post has reached a confidential settlement with a contract courier who had taken an employment court case against it over his status. Asnil Kumar argued that although he was a contractor, the nature of his relationship with NZ Post was really that of an employee without the usual benefits. He also argued he should have had the right to collectively bargain with the employer. As a result of the settlement late last week, Kumar was no longer contracted to NZ Post. A spokesperson for the state-owned enterprise said the ETU union, which supported Kumar, had initially lodged a group action against NZ Post on behalf of its courier drivers. Church payment and management software company Pushpay is acquiring a US-based live streaming company for $150 million. The acquisition of Sharesies Media, announced today, is expected to close by the end of this month and is made up of US $110 million in cash and US $40 million in Pushpay shares. Those shares will be issued at a price of $1.65 a share, being the volume-weighted average price in the 20 days to August 20. Sharesies was founded in 2016 and is based in Colorado and Texas. It provides live streaming services for churches and has grown to more than 3,900 customers, including 70% of the Outreach 100 largest churches in the US. Michael Hill International saw an 8.6% increase in same-store sales in the year to the end of June 2021, but has already lost 2,755 store trading days in the first 7 weeks of fiscal year 22 due to COVID, resulting in a 2% decline in total sales for the period year on year. The ongoing lockdowns in Australia and New Zealand have had an estimated Australian $5 million impact on earnings so far in the new financial year, the company said. However, the jewellery retailer with operations in New Zealand, Australia and Canada reported today it had raked in Australian $556.5 million in revenue for the year ending June 27, 2021, up from $492.1 Australian million in COVID-affected 2020, but still not back to the $604.3 million peak experienced in 2018. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR, in Margin Call, Stephen Benny looks at how long the OCR will remain on hold, while Robert McCulloch opines on Kiwi media bias. I'm Paul Brernnan. I look forward to being with you again from lunchtime tomorrow with the morning's NBR trending stories. Then same time, same place, right here from 5:30 with another NBR Today.